a little bit late today. So let's begin with the okay. Let's begin with the random first.
Yes.
มหาพิวาทะพุทธวจนะจตุราสีติธรรมขันธสหัสสานิ
สติอริยมรรคะวิสติสามัญญภละเอกนิพพานะขิปาปิญญาโดยเฉียบพลันในประวัติการนี้เธอโยโวอานันทามยาธัมโมจาวินโยจาเทสิโตปัญญาโตโสโวมะมะจเยนะสัทธาพุทธโยโวอานันทามยาธัมโมจาวินโยจาเทสิโตปัญญาโตโสโวมะมะจเยนะสัทธาโยโวอานันทามยาธัมโมจาวินโยจาเทสิโตปัญญาโตโสโวมะมะจเยนะสัทธาพุทธวจนะจตุราสีติธรรมขันธสหัสสานิคือปรมัตถานุตตรสัมมาสัมโพธิสมณะโคตมะปัญญาธิกะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะมหาภิวาทะปรมัตถานุตตรสัมมาสัมโพธิปัญญาธิกะทรงบำเพ็ญมหาปารมี20อสังไขยกำไรแสนกัปปะทรงพบปรมัตถานุตตรสัมมาสัมโพธิ512,028 ปัญญาธิกะพุทธะด้วยเสียงเก้านะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะมหาภิวาทะปรมัตถานุตตรสัมมาสัมโพธิสัทธาธิกะทรงบำเพ็ญมหาปารมี40อสังไขยกำไรแสนกัปปะทรงพบปรมัตถานุตตรสัมมาสัมโพธิ1,24,055 สัทธาธิกะพุทธะด้วยเสียงเก้านะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะมหาภิวาทะปรมัตถานุตตรสัมมาสัมโพธิวิริยาธิกะทรงบำเพ็ญมหาปารมี80อสังไขยกำไรแสนกัปปะทรงพบปรมัตถานุตตรสัมมาสัมโพธิ2,48,109 วิริยาธิกะพุทธะด้วยเสียงเก้า
สาธุ
สาธุ everybody นมัสการไอเยนมัสการไอเยนมัสการไอเย
มีสติสามัญญภละเอกานิพพานะขิปปาปิญญาโดยเฉียบพลันในประวัติการนี้เทิน
สาธุสาธุสาธุนาวุติอุปาณิธิพันธะ
Okay. Before we begin the class, as always, we need to mention about the important note that Dhamma provided in this presentation is simple and not Kampira or profound. People must continuously study Dhamma or else it will lead to Mahatapa, Nirya or hell because it is Micchatitti, not following the Buddha's teaching. If any provided content contrasts with Dhamma 84,000 Dhammakantaka, please refer to Dhamma 84,000 Dhammakantaka only. This is very important because we focus on what we can see, hear, sense.
Yes, and this important notes remind me about one thing that if someone or is that person is Kante or that person is Aye, but it is almost Aye or almost Kante said that this is good, this is correct, and then what we think it is this contrast with our thinkings in contrast with our teaching. How can we separate this is which one is correct and which one is
incorrect?
Because
as we mentioned that we need to follow the Buddha's teaching.
Yeah.
At beginning of the class, we learned Dhamma, and we also mentioned about your word, Anantamaya Dhammo Javinayo Jatesito Panyato Sovo Mamajayana Sattha, which translate into English that Dhamma 84,000 Dhammakantaka is Anuttara Samma Sampoti. That's why.
But that almost all people,
right?
Like all people in this country, they said that you must have a church.
Right.
You must have church for Jiwalang. So
right.
It should be have church.
Right. That's why we need to mention about the important note that Dhamma that provided by Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi is very profound or Kampira. It's not simple.
but
So
only you
yes, that's
only you
that's right because it is very important and it is very profound. It is that's why whenever we have
conflicts
conflict or not sure about
Yeah.
what we believe or what others said, that's why we need to go back to the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. And we also mentioned that the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi in this case we mean which refer to Dhamma 84,000 Dhammakantaka, which is not the one that translate, not
Yeah.
the translation one, but the one with the Kampira or profound meaning that Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi leads us
เออ
to for us to understand the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, which is not the translation.
how can we find that because of everyone said that we should have bhikkhu and bhikkhuni should have shirt and then you said that
Right,
bhikkhu bhikkhuni have only pancha jivara not cha
Right.
jivara
right.
and then how can we identify that which one is
Right.
correct
This is why quite challenge one. That's why we need to
Sikkaya
Sikkaya. One that is for sure that we need to Sikkaya, and one thing that we need to follow is that if we decided to Sikkaya or need to understand the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, we need to follow the Buddha's teaching accordingly. Because when we Sikkha Dhamma or we study Buddhist, then it turns out like Piping said, we follow the teachers, we follow others people, we follow the majority of the people.
the previous bhikkhuni said or the previous bhikkhu said
And
we
in this
all-
case, Piping said that we are following the majority.
yes
Most of the
majority.
people said that
It's-
we should follow them,
Yes.
right? But as we beginning the class with Jaran Tham, we also mentioned that we are Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi give us the 84,000 Dhammakantaka as representative of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi and during the period when Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi enters Nirvana. And that's why we need to follow the Buddha's teaching, not follow the majority of the people, right?
But you
When you follow the majority of the people, you are contrast and you are conflict with the
Yes.
teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. And in that case, when you are not following the Buddha's teaching, it turns out to be Sankhapeta,
สังฆเพทะ
Yeah.
oh
different from what
From-
Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi said.
is this very serious in this item no
Right? But
because
most
you
people,
you different from paramattha
we are not following the Buddha's
Yeah.
teaching. Because before Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi enters Nirvana, Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi has already assigned Dhamma 84,000 Dhammakantaka as the representative of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi.
but what you said that it's about some country that very cold they have to use cha jiwarang cha
Right.
jiwara no they have shirt in order for protection the
Right.
cold but it is not jiwarang at all
It's not,
It's
it's,
ปริขาโจรัง
if you translate,
yes
it turns out that this translation is not complete and not one of the
Jivara.
Jiwara.
yes
But as we mentioned here,
is
that's why
is
you need,
for ปริขาโจรัง no
right?
in order to cover for the cold but not in the ปัญจจีวรัง or in ติจีวระเนาะ
And the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, actually, we call it Dhamma, right? Dhamma consisting of Suttanta and Abhidhamma.
yes
Altogether, 84,000 Dhammakantaka. And in Suttanta, we are in Suttanta, we
Yep.
have the results
yeah
or Vipaka or Apayakata or
พ
Pandita
ละ
or Pala
yes
that caused by Abhidhamma.
ก็มีเสียงร้อง
Abhidhamma is the cause that make us as the result.
อ่า
So whenever Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi said, or when Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi Tesana,
อืม
Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi is leading us to Nirvana.
อือหือ
And when you Sikkaya, when first Sikkaya, we insist that you should recite Citta 121, Cetasika 52, and Rupa 28.
อือหือ
And when you are able to recite Citta 121, Cetasika 52, Rupa 28, and that is when you find where Lokuttara is.
อืม
Lokuttara stays in Citta, right?
อือหือ
Citta 121 consisting of Kamavajara Citta 54, Rupavajara Citta 12, 15, Arupavajara Citta 12, and Lokuttara Citta 40. In this case, you see that Lokuttara Citta 40 stays within Citta 121. In order to reach Nirvana, then you should reach Lokuttara Citta 40, right? And simplify them. So we are in Suttanta.
อือหือ
If we are not following the Buddha's teaching to Abhidhamma, to Citta, Cetasika, Rupa, then we enter Nirvana.
อือหือ
That's why we cannot translate. Because once we translate, we stay in Suttanta.
อืม
We cannot travel. We cannot follow the Buddha's teaching because we decided to go different way from what Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi said. Because Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi said or Tesana that we start from Suttanta, we should know ourselves. Ourself is the results that caused by Citta, Cetasika, and Rupa. And Citta, Cetasika, Rupa stays in Abhidhamma. Abhidhamma stays under Dhamma, Dhamma consisting of Suttanta and Abhidhamma. That's why when you follow the Buddha's teaching, you have followed Buddha's from Suttanta to Dhamma, to Abhidhamma, and then to reach Citta, Cetasika, Rupa, and then Nirvana. But if you decided to go different way from what Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi leads us, we go to the majority of the people. Go with the translation.
อือหือ
A translation and the majority of people go different way from Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. By doing so, we cannot enter Nirvana. We cannot enter the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi because we have already decided to go different way. We are not following the Buddha's teaching through Dhamma, through Abhidhamma, and then we reach Citta, Cetasika, Rupa, and eventually we reach Nirvana. We decided to go different way since the beginning.
อือหือ
That's why most of the people, when you translate them,
อือหือ
you are unable to follow the Buddha's teaching into the Kampira or profound level. But you think that you understand them because you understand as same as you understand the stories or the movies. There are people, even the people, action, and also places, the stories of the people. That's what you understand. But in that case, you understand as a story.
Yep.
You understand within Suttanta.
อือหือ
You are not following Buddha's teaching to Dhamma, to Abhidhamma, and then reach the interaction of Citta, Cetasika, and Rupa. And eventually, if we follow the Buddha's teaching and Sikkaya, we eventually will reach Lokuttara Citta. In that case, we need to go to Abhidhamma.
อืม
And by going to Abhidhamma, first thing first,
อืม
before we go there, we need to know what resides in Abhidhamma, in Paramattha. At that place, Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi Tesana, that at that place consisting of Citta 121, Cetasika 52, and Rupa 28 as the basis. And after that, after you can recite the basis, as you understand the components, then Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi will explain more how those components interact together and cause us as a result of them. When Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi Tesana to explain the results and cause our body.
Yep.
At this moment, we are reversing, go on a different way, like reverse engineering. Follows the Buddha's teaching, but follows from our body. And then go back to Dhamma, to Abhidhamma, and back to Citta, Cetasika, Rupa that cause us. And by doing so, we are going to back to from Suttanta back to Paramattha Dhamma. In Paramattha Dhamma, as we mentioned, Citta, Cetasika, Rupa, Nirvana, and Panjati stays there. So we need to reach Abhidhamma in order to reach Nirvana, which the end of the cyclic of existence, right? This is the different path. That's why we need to mention. We also want to mention about this in this
But
class too.
I still wonder that you said that we have to recite Citta, Cetasika, and Rupa. Then we can recite it, but we want to have church in our Jivalang.
Right.
Can or cannot?
Okay. This is one of very complicated
Yep.
case.
Mm-hmm.
If we translate it
Mm.
like that, Bhikkhuni should have only 5 jivara.
Yes, but I want Jivalang.
Right. It depends on how you count jivara, but not by using our 5 senses. But
Mhm.
that in that case, we need to go back to
Because
Abhidhamma. to Citta,
Vinaya is 5 Jivalang, but you want
Yes.
to 6 Jivalangs. It means
Yes.
that you did not in the Vinaya.
Right.
Mhm.
But the difference is how you classify of each
Mm.
jivara. Eventually, it covers in 5,
Mm.
but the number might not be 5.
Okay.
But the classification is 5.
Mm-hmm.
5. The classification is 5. But this one is quite complicated because all as the beginners or the majority of the people, you perceive and count them by using your eyes,
Mm.
not count them by Abhidhamma or Paramattha Dhamma. That is completely different story.
Mm-hmm.
That's why this is the beginning of the translation, right?
Mm.
5 mean 5.
Yep.
This is translation.
Yep.
But actually 5, you need to go back to Paramattha Dhamma. And Paramattha Dhamma, at that place, when they build us and also everything here,
Mm.
they're starting by Rupa Samudana.
Yep.
First, come from Kam, Chit, Puttu, and Aha. Kam consisting of Rupa 18, Chitta Rupa 15, Uttu Rupa 13, and Aha Rupa 12.
Mm-hmm.
And those 5 groups of
Yep.
Rupa Samudana consisting of
4.
common 9
Uh-huh.
Rupa, which are
Abhi-
Avinipoka Rupa 8 and Parisheta Rupa 1. Parisheta Rupa 1 act as the pathway to access. So in that case, when these kind of Rupa come to Manusa Bhumi,
Yep.
it turns out to be the base of everything. Avinipoka Rupa 8. Avinipoka Rupa 8, and also we have we can interact together. We
Mhm.
are different from trees, different from table, different from things like this. So within Avinipoka Rupa 8, there are special Rupa that comes with us, which called Shivita Rupa.
Mm.
Shivita Rupa stays in Ekanta Kamashupa in your past life. However, it's interact with our body at this moment. So that's why when we breathe the air breathe in, breathe out, it keep us alive.
Mm.
When we're hungry, we eat food. Those food keep us alive. The reason that those food and those air can keep us alive because those also
พี่
consisting
บอกไอ้
of Shivita Rupa. That is quite different one. I explained this because of our shirt or Jivara also comes from Rupa Smutatana, consisting Kam, Chit, Uttu, Ahan. And in order to go to Nirvana, we need to go back starting from อาหารอุตุจิตกรรม That's why Jivara, we are not counting the number,
Yes.
but we need to go back to the source of Jivara, which comes from Ahan, Uttu, Jit, Kam.
Mhm.
Under Abhidhamma, this one we call the Rupa Samutthana. Rupa Samutthana comes from Kamma Chitta, and Kamma Chitta come from Kam, come from Chitta. Chitta, Chitta 29 becomes Kamma Chitta 29.
Mhm.
And especially for Gamma Vajon, Gamma Vajon is only 20 out of 29.
Yes.
So therefore
Kamajit.
Gamajit consisting of Kusala Chitta 12 and Mahakusala Chitta 8. Those are Gamajitta under Gamma Vajon that creates a Vayapumi 4, Manusapumi 1, Tevapumi 6. That's all, right? That's why we need to go to a little bit more detail
Yeah.
in Abhidhamma, and I will show you in the chart.
So
We'll
you
see.
mean that today we can if someone cannot change because of everyone's in their opinions have the same opinions, then you cannot change to the Vinaya now. You can change it in future. After you Sikkaya, you can add more knowledge about Dhamma. Then you will know that what you should done. You should done according to other people thinking, or you should done according to Vinaya of our Paramattha Anuttara Samma Sampoti. So you can choose now. And in future add more dhamma, then you will choose it in the right way. No. Okay.
Right.
Next
It's
slide.
it's quite difficult at
Yeah.
first,
Okay.
but be patient and focus with your
Yes.
ultimate goal.
Yeah.
If you want to reach nirvana, you need to follow the Buddha's teaching. By following the Buddha's teaching, only these sentences emphasis on this one
Yes.
follows the Buddha's teaching. Therefore, we are not following the majority. We are not following other people. If those kind of explanation contrast with Dhamma, which is not the translation, we
Mhm.
insist, because you'll find that in the future, when you listen to when we explain about Dhamma, you see that you will find something that is not in line with the translation,
Yes.
not in line with the majority of the
Yeah.
people. But you need to think carefully or listen carefully what we are explaining about them, because we are going to Kampira or profound level. We are not translated, and we try to explain like reverse engineering. We are going back from finished products, that is our
Yeah.
body and the
Outside.
environment, go back to Dhamma, to Abhidhamma by following the Buddha's teaching. We're going back how Abhidhamma created us.
Yeah.
And when we know that pathway, we can go back through ourselves and then back to Abhidhamma. And that is where Lokuttara
Yeah.
or Nirvana stays.
Okay.
Okay. And today is the fourth sukkapakkhassa Asalahadhikamasassa Mahabuddhajayanti 2614 or July 18 18 Buddha's era 2569.
The same. We use the date of Paramattha.
Oh,
Use
Asalahadhikamasassa.
You see, we will use our group use the date that called by Jantalakati, no? It is not solar
This one
not solar moon.
Tantrakati, yes, that's correct.
Jantalakati. In order because our Paramattha in the event of our Paramattha use Jantalakati is use moon, no? In counting the day and the month.
Right. Tantrakati is kind of calendar
Yes.
before the Buddha's enlightenment.
Yeah.
That's why. And then after Anuttara Samma Sampoti enlightenment,
Yeah.
then Anuttara Samma Sambuddha use this date and this month and this year count. We are following the Buddha's teaching and underlines the time that we have. Because we have date, we have month, we have years, because actually time exists, right? If time doesn't exist, we don't have time, we don't have date, we don't have month, we don't have year. It's not necessary because we have no time. But when time exists, then that's why we need to mention, to pinpoint about the time. And by pinpoint about the time, we pinpoint the time by following the Buddha's teaching. That's why we need to identify the time, the date, the month, the year, according to what's Buddha's teaching.
Yes.
And underline that's why the reason why we need to mention about the date, the month, the year, because time exists. And Anuttara Samma Sambuddha explain or tesana about times, that times comes from Atita, Pachupanna, and Anakata. Atita comes from Avijja Sankhara. ปัจจุบันนะวิญญาณนามรูปสลายตนะผัสสะเวทนาตัณหาอุปาทานภพ and อนาคตชาติชราพยาธิมรณะโศกะปริเทวะทุกขโทมนัสปายาสะ This is the beginning, the cause, that time is the result of these cause, according to the Anuttara Samma Sambuddha mentioned. It's not because of the earth orbit around the sun, not by the earth orbit around itself that cause day and night, not the earth that orbit around the sun that cause season, and also one round that earth travel around the sun that count as 1 year. That is our knowledge.
น้องกัน why this month have อาสาฬหอธิกรรมสัสสะ
Adhikamasassa. Because
Every year we have only อาสาฬหมาสัสสะ Why this year อาสาฬหอธิกรรมมาสัสสะ
this one is special because we this year we count Asalaha 2 times.
2 times
So-
in
so
1 month.
In
In
this
1
year,
month. In 1
in
month,
1 month,
we
yes,
have 60
it's
days,
60 days.
not 30 days.
30.
Same as other year. We will have อธิกรรมมาสัสสะfor 4 years at one time.
Every 4 years.
Every 4 years.
Every 4. So we not count it as 2 months,
Yeah.
but we count it as 1. But for this special month, we call it Asalaha Adhikamasassa.
อ
This
ธิกรร
month,
ม
instead of having 30 days,
อืม
in this case, this month have 60 days.
อ๋อ
Not divided into the first Asalaha and the second Asalaha. No, it's count the whole as 1 month, but we call it Asalaha Adhikamasassa. This special month has 60 days. Occur every 4 years.
Oh, so if we know that we use Paramattha month, we will not mistake about when to get in Vassa.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And we are following the Buddha's teaching.
Yes.
We also insist that we go back to the things that we mentioned at the beginning of the class. That's why we need to follow the Buddha's teaching. And we insist that you whenever you're confused or you're not sure, go back to this sentence that you follow the Buddha's teaching, which is not the translation. The Buddha's teaching is 84,000 Dhammakantaka, which is Kampira profound, not the translation, not the majority of the people. Whenever you go follows the translation or you follows the majority of the people, be reminds that most likely you are misleading, going different ways than Anuttara Samma Sambuddha. And whenever you feel like comfortable or that is what you did, or you always doing that, be reminds that please check with the Anuttara Samma Sambuddha again, because normally, according to our experience, whenever we decided by ourselves, it usually go to different ways from Anuttara
So
Sammasati.
your solution is only go back to 84,000 Hamakantaka
Right,
and check what is the correct.
right.
You
Check
cannot
the correct one.
you cannot use your conception or other conception
Right.
in order to make decision which is correct or which is
Right,
not correct,
right,
incorrect, no?
right.
Okay,
And
thank
it's
you.
quite hard because normally you need to, it turns out that you need to walk alone because to the majority of the people, they go other ways. But if we decided to follow the Buddha's teaching, it might not, it have only a few people that go with you or only you, something
Yes.
like that.
Sometimes you have to go alone because this if you want to nivarana or if you want to follow have friend you want to have friend or you want to go to nivarana what is your target
Right.
Mhm.
Quite
Okay
difficult.
sadhu
Okay. This class we mentioned a lot about these sentences that yo anantamaya thammo ja viniyo ja tesito panyato so wo mamachena satta, or translate into English that Buddha Vajana 84,000 is Anuttara Samma Sampodhi. However, please be reminded that this is only translation, but further into Sikkha, we will change it from the translation into more details about Abhidhamma. That you see.
for this you see this is parinibbana stupa you see we try to use this symbol this symbol for our construction everywhere in order to show that for your target is to nivarana
Right?
Mhm.
And the place need to welcome Sangha from everywhere, from around the
around the world
world and around in everywhere. So that's why you see there's our design
Yes.
we use the same architect as this one, but we have the open gate in 4 ways.
Yeah.
We received Sangha or Buddha Chatuparisa, or the one who need to follow the Buddha's teaching. You can come from any direction.
Yeah.
And then come to us, and we explain we explain the way to follow the Buddha's teaching.
And at that era when construction of Parinibbana Stupa that times still have Ariya Bukkala. The designs of Ariya Bukkala that design the constructions, we follow that.
Right.
We not thinking it by ourselves because to follow Ariya Bukkala and follow Paramattha only.
Right.
Yes.
And there is more story
Yeah.
to explain under this.
Uh-huh.
As we mentioned that we
Yeah.
we are the results that come from Abhidhamma. So there is some linkage between this body back to Abhidhamma, and where in Abhidhamma is where Nirvana stays in that place. That's why there is special pathway, special route from this body or this world to connect directly to Nirvana or Lokuttara. That's why we follows the Buddha's teaching, or follows the Buddha Savaka, because those because Buddha's teaching or Buddha Savaka, they knows the way to connect from Suttanta to Dhamma to Abhidhamma to pass through Panjati and to Paramatta, which actually Citta, Cetasika, Rupa stays in that place. And then when we receive the teaching of the Samma Sampodhi from Suttanta, from external or from Pahita, then it comes through our body, through Dhamma, through Abhidhamma, and then through Panjati and to Paramatta, and correct our incorrect interaction between Citta and Cetasika and Rupa. And when the interaction is corrected, that's when we improved from Kamavajra Citta 54 into Rupavajra Citta 15, Arupavajra Citta 12, and eventually we reach Lokuttara 40. This one is this explanation is a very simplified one. So there's a special pathway. Actually, when we go into details, you will perplexed by the enlightenment of Anuttara Samma Sambuddha. However, for those who have just be able to recite Citta, Cetasika, and Rupa, we simplify the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddha this way for you to be able to follow step.
And Nong Kan have already said that Dhamma is not inside us. We receive from Pahita, no? Because Paramattha Anuttara Samma Sambuddha is Pahita. So you cannot sit still and only close your eye and then your knowledge will be created by yourself.
Right.
So cannot do that because we cannot have knowledge of Paramattha Anuttara Samma Sambuddha by not Sikkha. We cannot knowing by ourselves. Never.
Because in that case, it will contrast with these sentences,
Yep.
as we mentioned at the beginning, that we need to follow the Buddha's teaching. By following Buddha's teaching, we are not following the majority, not following about ourselves, not following others people. That's why we need to check and recheck and check again and again and again. Whatever you are truly believe it's correct, please recheck again. If it's comply with these sentences, it's most likely we are following the Buddha's teaching.
So
However,
your word is very, very important
Right.
for our Sikkha. If you still follow Paramattha, that is mean that you have to follow 84,000 Kammakkhata only.
right, not the translation.
Yes.
So-
Because translation is not real. Because Paramattha, every Paramattha about 3 million
500
84 something.
Okay.
All have used Makati in teaching Dhamma.
Right. And there is a lot of details under
Yes.
that.
But all detail is very important in each detail. You
Right.
cannot forget it, any detail.
And in the end, when you're following the Buddha teaching, along the way, it's quite entertaining.
Yes.
It's quite happy and fun. Even though the language Pipping have just mentioned, there's also a lot more details underneath them. So we cannot fit them all within this class, but this is roughly or the ideas of how, why, or how we start from ourselves, then go back to the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddha and follows the Buddha's teaching. How to follow the Buddha's teaching? You need to recheck like the compass. Whenever you are following majority of the people of following the translation of the following the norm of the society, things like that.
This
Like,
is not
please recheck with the compass with the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddha. Are those in line with the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddha? And according to our experience, we can say that most likely they are not following the Buddha's teaching. But we have been following them since we were kids, something like that. So we never have questions about that until we find teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddha, and we are rechecking those beliefs that we have since we were kids.
Okay, Satu.
So as this moment, we are one of the four Buddha Parisa. We are following the Buddha's teaching. And each of the four Buddha Parisa, which consisting of Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni, Upasaka, and Upasika, these four Buddha Parisa also have responsibilities. Translate into English. This one start from translation, and then furthermore, when Sikkha, we go back to Buddha Vajana and go in deeper into details, start from Suttanta to Dhamma to Abhidhamma through Panyati, and then finally we reach Paramattha Dhamma. That is explanation by the interaction of Citta 121, Cetasika 52, Rupa 28, and then eventually we do reach Nirvana. But then we start from translation first. We are not translation for translation. We are translation for just the starting point.
Yes,
And
only
then,
starting point.
right. And from translation, we are going back to Makatha language. From Makatha language, we go to Sutanta to a Dhamma, to a Pithamma, to Panyati Tham, Panyati Tham, and then reach Paramattha Dhamma. And then that's when we are listening to the teaching of Nuttara Samma Sambuddhi through Citta, Cetasika, and Rupa. Now, we start from this translation. The first one that for Buddha Parisa must well understand the Tipitaka, 84,000 Dhammakantaka. And the second one is the for Buddha Parisa must be able to correctly present 84,000 Dhammakantaka. And the third one is the for Buddha Parisa must be able to correct those who condemn or misunderstand the Tipitaka, 84,000 Dhammakantaka.
You see the third item. If someone have misunderstand, we have to sikkaya in order to correct them. If sometimes if you talk with them, they seem like the kindergarten student. You have no need to talk with that person because it's waste time. You use your time for sikkaya because sikkaya is correct by yourself first. If you cannot correct yourself, please don't correct other.
We have three responsibilities,
Yes.
right? We are
But correct yourself first.
right.
Mhm.
We are on the journey.
Yes.
Very, very long journey, not only one lifetime, but
Yeah.
lifetimes. So whoever born as Manusa, those have kusala from the past.
Mm.
Everyone have kusala from
Yeah.
the past. However, every other people or each of the person, they are staying on different point of the journey.
Mhm.
Even though we have the look
Mm.
like human,
Yeah.
as in
Same
the same
look same like
look the same,
human.
but we might stay in different point of the
Yes.
journey.
มนุษย์นิรโยมุสตะเปโต มนุษย์ติรชันโน
and
อมนุษย์เทโว
That's why these three
Three.
that's why you need to follow these three responsibility. The first one that you need to understand the Tipitaka, 84,000 Dhammakantaka, in the profound one, not the
We have
translation
to
one.
know by ourselves first is the
Right.
first one. We
And
have
the second
get
one,
knowledge first.
you must be able to correctly present 84,000 Dhammakantaka is also your responsibility, right? And if someone misunderstand or condemn the teaching of Nuttara Samma Sambuddhi, if we have a chance, we will explain to them
Explain him.
the correct one. What is the correct one?
Yeah.
And you see, from these three responsibility, never focus on the results of your explanation.
Yeah. It means that if someone that you tell them they don't want to follow you, it's you not feel
Force them. Not
yes,
going to
not
force
force them and not so feel sad because you have want to tell them but they don't want to know
Right.
what you teaching.
Right.
Okay.
This-
Give them time.
Right. And these three responsibility, if you focus, if you look carefully, it's only focus on yourself,
Yeah.
not others. Even though you explain in this second one, you explain to others, and you correctly present the second one, and third one correct and those who condemn or misunderstand. But these two sentences never judge you on the results of those explanation of those correct the one who condemn or misunderstand the Tipitaka, the 4,000 of Kantaka. But you need to follow these responsibilities.
Yeah.
In order to travel, in order to journey from Sutanta to Dhamma to Abhidhamma, and then in order to reach Lokuttara and eventually.
Okay, let's pay respect to our Dhammacariya, Dhammapara Theravada Suchat Nak
พระ
on.
โพธิสุชาตินาอ่อน
ท่านอังคคุณะ วัตตะพิรตะ โสตาปันนะ ท่านพัชระโพธิธรรมะ โสตาปันนะ สุปฏิปันโน 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 สาธุ สาธุ สาธุนาวุติอุปานิธิพันธานุโมทามิ
Here we explain a lot about actually these two charts within today. Before we begin, we need to understand the relationship between Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. When Buddha enlightenment, then when this Buddha is Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi will teach Dhamma, and when Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi Tesana Dhamma, Sangha must occur.
So for the Pajjeka Buddha, it will not tesana, no? Pajjeka Buddha will not tesana. So that era will not have Sangha.
Yes, because no Dhamma, no Sangha.
Have Dhamma, but Pajjeka Buddha did not teaching.
Need to Tesana.
Yes.
And the result that Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi and Pajjeka Buddha, the difference is for Samma Sambuddhi, this Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi Tesana by Vitakka Cetasika. Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi บำเพ็ญบารมี until it reach Vitakka Cetasika. However, for Pajjeka Buddha, บำเพ็ญบารมี but reach only Vichara Cetasika. That's why Pajjeka Buddha doesn't Tesana.
Yes. So no Sangha.
No Sangha at that time. So when we understand a little bit about the relationship between Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, so where if we follow solely Dhamma, we focus only Dhamma without understanding that before Dhamma, a Buddha needs to occur first, then you might go to the wrong direction. So that's why we need to go back that by Sikkha or follows the Dhamma, we need to know about the emergence of Buddha first and then Dhamma, and follows the Buddha's teaching through Dhamma, Sangha will happen.
Okay. And this we emphasize again about Sangha. Sangha is not only you when you wearing jivalang, you are Sangha, but the real Sangha is Ariya Bukkhala. For the Sangha that have wearing jivalang is only Sammati Sangha.
That leads to what we are going to explain next about the fourth Buddha Parisa. From this chart, you see that the complete four Buddha Parisa, Upasaka, Upasika, Bhikkhuni, Bhikkhu, only happen under Manusa Bhumi. And you see a lot of some of the green sign here under Tevata and Brahma Bhumi, but they are not called Buddha Parisa. Buddha Parisa only occur only in Manusa Bhumi. That's why when we become Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni, Upasaka, and Upasika only in Manusa Bhumi. Okay.
So we very happy that we very good luck that we have chance.
We have chance to become those.
To be become Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni, although we are become Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni by Sammati.
Right. From that point of view, at this moment, we know that there is 31 Bhumi in the cycle of existence. And those 31 Bhumi in the cycle of existence lies in Suttanta. And for human, we have Thai people, we have Indian. We classify people according to many criteria. Sometimes we classify them by their nationality. Sometimes we classify them by their gender. Sometimes we classify them by their education or by their ethnic something like that, right?
classify by money.
There are a lot of criteria for classification the people in
Mhm.
this world, right? And also the same. In 31 Bhumi, we have Sattva in 31 Bhumi.
Yeah.
There's a way to classify them according to the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi called people in 31 Bhumi as Sattva.
Satta.
And this Satta classified into 12 groups of Satta. Starting from Tukkati Ahetuka Pukkala, this one stays in Apaya Bhumi 4. Then Sukkati Ahetuka Pukkala, most likely this stays in Manusa Bhumi
And
and Teva Bhumi.
Tevapumi only.
And then Tuihetuka Pukkala, Tihetuka Pukkala. These 4 group of Pukkala, they are not yet reached Arya Pukkala. The rest 8 people, 8 Pukkala, they are
Aliyah.
Arya Pukkala. Starting from Sotapati Makha, Sotapati Phala, Sakatthakami Makha, Sakatthakami Phala, Anakami Makha, Anakami Phala, Arahata Makha, and Arahata Phala. This altogether 12 Pukkala, the way to classify the Sattva in 31 Bhumi. And only 8 out of 12 can be Ubasaka and Ubasika. However, as we mentioned in the previous slide, to become full Buddha Parisa, you must stay in Manusapumi.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Upasaka and Upasika, these 2 words reserved only for Manusapumi. However, the rest of Sattva, except Abhaya Bhumi 4, they can reach Arya Pukkala. But only if they stay in Manusapumi, they have a chance to call, we can call them Ubasaka and Ubasika.
Mm-hmm.
And if those Ubasaka and Ubasika, which starts from Arya Pukkala and stays in Manusapumi, decide to enter Vinaya, then Ubasaka will become Bhikkhu, and Ubasika will become Bhikkhuni. By Vinaya itself, Vinaya mentioned only about 227 and 311. 227 for Upasaka to turn into Bhikkhu, and 311 for Upasika to turn into Bhikkhuni. And Upasika need to reach at least Sotapati Makha first until Arahata Phala. And Upasika and Bhikkhuni altogether need to stay in Manusapumi.
Okay, the same thinking is for Upasaka and Upasikas in the Buddha era is all Aliyah Bukkala. For us, Upasaka and Upasika is Sammati.
Right.
Upasaka and
Why we
Sammati.
need to follow the Buddhas or follows the Buddha Savaka.
Mm-hmm.
The reason it stays in here. We are following the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, right? We are following from Suttanta to Abhidhamma, as we mentioned at the beginning of the class.
Mm-hmm.
We need to go through Panyati by using our body, follows the Buddha's teaching or Buddha Savaka into Abhidhamma, which Citta, Cetasik, and Rupa stays, to correct the interaction, that incorrect one that we are created. We need to follow the Buddha's teaching. We need to find the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi from Suttanta, and then follows the Buddha's teaching from Suttanta through Abhidhamma. That's why we have our body here like Manusa. And we need to use our body according to what Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi allow or by following the Buddha Savaka in order to be able to go from Suttanta, starting from Manusa body, and then through Panyati and through Abhidhamma. By doing so, we need to start from here, Bunyakariya 10. Bunyakariya 10 consisting of Tan, Seen, Pavana, Apachayana, Veya, Vacha, Patitan, Patanumodana, Dhammasavana, Dhammatesana, and Titushukam. And Tan, Pavana, Apachayana, Veya, Vacha, Patitan, Patanumodana, Dhammasavana, Dhammatesana, Titushukam. These 9, they are Manokamma. We start from our body and our words. So, Sila, consisting of Kaya Kamma and Vachi Kamma. That's why we need to use our body and use our words according to the Buddha's teaching and also Buddha Savaka. That's why we need to go back to Tipitaka and find the correct way to do things according to the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi or Buddha Savaka. As we mentioned at the beginning of the class, that why we need to count day, month, and year according to Buddha's teaching and Buddha Savaka. And we never stop there. We go a little bit further. That's why we need to, for simplification, you use your body and your words, count day, month, and year according to Buddha's era. But we are never stop there. We go beneath than that. The day, month, and year happen. You count them because time exists. And the time exists. Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi also explained the existence of time. Time exists because of avicca, sankhara, viññāṇa, nāma-rūpa, salayatana, phassa, vedana, tanha, upadana. And this existence of time create from Shavana Citta that stays in Abhidhamma. That's why we need to follow from our body. Go back to the Buddha's era by counting date, month, year, and then not only count, we go a little bit further. The existence of time explained by Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi that starts from avicca, sankhara, viññāṇa, nāma-rūpa, salayatana, phassa, vedana, tanha, upadana, bhava, and anakata, chāt, chara, bhayati, morana, soka, pariteva, dukkha, thomanat, upayasa. This is caused by Shavana Citta, or for more simplification, caused by Citta 121 interact with Cetasika 52, cause Rupa 28, cause time. And because of we are know nothing, that's why you see time starts with avicca sankhara, which we know nothing about the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. That's why the existence, the cycle of existence is endless. Because we start from we know nothing about the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. That's why we need to emphasize at the beginning of the class that if you want to end the cycle of existence, you need to follow the Buddha's teaching, not follow other people, not follow majority, not follow even yourself. Because by doing so, you start the new cycle with avicca, sankhara, then viññāṇa, nāma-rūpa, salayatana, phassa, vedana, tanha, upadana, bhava, and anakata, chāt, chara, bhayati, morana, soka, pariteva, dukkha, thomanat, upayasa. This is why the cycle of existence never ends.
Endless.
Right.
Endless for you if you think of yourself.
Right. And however, even the cycle of existence is endless.
Yes.
But today's time is ended.
Today time is ended.
It's ended.
It is not endless.
Yes, it's ended. However, we will explain more about this in the
Next path.
next classes. Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any questions? Okay. If you don't have any questions, then that will be end of this class.
Yeah.
สาธุ
สาธุ
สา
ค่ะ
ธุ
สาธุสาธุ
นา
สา
วุ
ธุ
ติ
วุ
อุ
ติ
ปา
ขอบ
นิ
คุณ
ธิ
ค่ะ
พัน
ค่ะ
ธา
อน
โม
นุโม
ทา
ทามิ
มิค่ะ
นมัสการ
นัน
อาเย
เย
สกา
การ
มีสติอริยมรรค
นมัส
มี
การ
สติสามัญญประเอกานิพพานะปาปิญญาโดยเจ็ดพันในประวัติการนี้เถิด
สาธุ
สา
สา
ธุ
ธุ
สาธุ
นาวุติ
Sadhu, 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 namuti upaniti banda, numodami.
Sankiti clear or not?
Yeah, clear, but I also preparing for cooking tomorrow.
If other person they want to follow other person, up to them.
Yeah.
We want to go to Nivarana only, but other people don't want to go to Nivarana. It's up to that person, right?
Yeah, but yeah, yeah, every year.
Every year, do you want to follow other person? Is this up to a year? But from one day, if you have Sikkha more, you will know that if you want to go to Nivarana, you have to get in Vinaya only. Because if you're not in the Vinaya, how can you go to Nivarana? Right?
Yes.
สาธุ
Sadhu, anumodana ka,
สาธุค่ะ
Sadhu ka.